There, Justin Hampton with Comp Tool. And today I want to talk about a question that's related to education and experience in job descriptions, especially in salary survey job descriptions. So there's a company out there, and today they are evaluating their pay bands for jobs. And this particular company, I think they've made a wise decision. They are not requiring years of experience or education in their jobs typically. Now, they're trying to price those jobs. What they're finding is that the salary surveys that they have include language like the typical candidate will have 8 to 10 years of experience, or candidates typically are going to have a bachelor's degree. This person's question is, well, if we don't require a bachelor's degree or we don't require 10 years of experience, how should we adjust the market data to make sure we're paying fairly and paying competitively? This is a great question. And I think it's one that a lot of compensation teams have really started to make the right moves in the previous years, where we are moving away from these requirements around degrees and experience. And the reason I think this is a good move for most companies and for most roles is because past experience does not guarantee future success. And a degree, well, I don't know too many people that are using the degree that they have and the job that they have today. I know myself personally, I have a degree in I have a master's in public administration. I have a degree in emergency management and disaster planning. So I suppose you could say I use the first one quite a bit, but not necessarily in the way it was intended. But again, one of the really important things for us to consider is what is truly required for a person in that role to be successful. Now, if we're talking about licensed engineers or certified roles, such as like a paralegal or a rather such as an attorney or like a CPA, of course you have to have those certifications and that kind of education. But for other roles like software engineers or heck, compensation analyst, well, I know a lot of great compensation analysts that don't have 10 years of experience, but they're in those senior level roles, which would typically say in the salary survey descriptions requires typical candidates have 10 or more years of experience. I also know a lot of really smart software engineers that do not have degrees. And I know even more that don't have degrees in computer science. But again, that's not an indication of their current success and how proficient they are in those roles. So, from my perspective, I wouldn't adjust the market data. I wouldn't move it up. I wouldn't move it down. I would just accept that the years of experience and the education in those job descriptions is designed as somewhat like a litmus test for companies to better understand the typical candidate or the typical person. But not every employee, not every candidate, not every incumbent are going to be typical. And so I think that's also why we don't necessarily need to arrange that data or change that data based upon one or two different bullet points. I think what we need to consider is the spirit of the job description in that salary survey met by the spirit of our job description in our organization. If that's the case, then I think that you're in a good spot. And one thing you can always do to just double check and have that sanity check, especially if you're getting pushback, is take a look at your current employees. Does your job description require a college degree? Does it require a kind of college degree? Take a look at your current employees in those jobs with those requirements. And if a single one of those employees does not have the recommended degree or they don't have the recommended years of experience, well, maybe it's time to take a look at those job descriptions and get rid of those things that aren't truly bona fide qualifications for employment and for success in that job. That's just my thought. But I'm Justin Hampton. I'm the founder of Comp Tool. I've been in comp for about 15, almost 20 years now. Um, and I love answering questions that we see. So hopefully that helps. If you have any comments or thoughts, leave it down below. Thank you.